Do you think it's possible that shift occurred at the onset of feminism, and this is the radiation or the butterfly of that? No.
I think
I would say I would say yes. Let me just say yes. But no, I don't want to say but. I'll say and. Yes, I agree with that. And the thing to that is that I think it's a natural progression of people who like when we, and I know y'all hate when I say this, but I'm just talking about historically in terms of slavery, right? You're in one situation. The natural progression of that is if you are in bondage, you want to be free. So you're going to fight against that because that's not your natural state to be oppressed or enslaved, right? So I think that was going to be a natural progression anyway for women because of the way society was set up.
So I think that I think that you're right. When you're in bondage, you're free. I think what has happened is a little bit of too much of something makes it more like an uncomfortable thing, right? I think that
the baby out with the bathwater, something like that old saying. I think it just swung too far.
But I think that what has happened is people, so that the whole idea is people who lived it and it was like, oh, you know, I was in this marriage, it wasn't a happy marriage, I didn't get a chance, they had regrets, right? And they were outspoken about their regrets. And so because they had regrets, they trickled it over to their kids, like, don't be like mom. You don't want, you know, I want you to live, because parents want their kids to live a life they didn't get a chance to live, right? And so because they were miserable in their marriage, or there were some things they didn't get to do, so they live vicariously through their kids, like, no, I want you to do this because I missed out on that because I did this. Mm-hmm. And then that trickle into you know, living your life. So there was some regrets in the past, right? But I think that the good thing about how we live now, and I wish we can get it together, is you don't have to have those regrets. So I think mom gave up. She took sacrifices. She didn't realize she could live her life and be married. Y'all just have to live it together. You can travel together. You can experience, like, you don't have to stop your life just because you're married. Now you guys, it'll look a little different because you can experience it together. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Just do it together, you know? And I think that that's the what we need to figure out, that you don't have to stop living. You just have a partner to do it with. But let me just say this too, and I wanted to go back to the sex because I was trying to get in there. Let me just say, men who've had a lot of sex are not necessarily the best at having sex. Matter of fact, they may be the worst, okay? Because they never even get an opportunity to learn a woman's body. They so fast in and out, they even developed a relationship with a woman, and they think they're doing it, and the whole time she probably faking it, right? You know, because you get these stories where y'all sitting here talking and they telling all their business, and they like, he thought he was doing it, girl, and they be talking about
behind your back.
Listen, it's the guy who has the relationship, who got a chance to be in love with a woman, who took pride in knowing what it is that she liked. He know how to, you know, you put a point where like, oh, he been with the be, you know what I'm saying? He done snuck it up on her like, oh, he's the brother. Because he understood it. He took the time to learn a woman's body. Okay. Now, all bodies are not the same. We do know that, but there are similarities in, you know, but that dude who has multiple bodies and he going in and out, he ain't, them women faking. They faking. Them 80% of women who ain't getting that orgasm probably dealt with them dudes. The 20% in relationships with a man, with a relation, the 20% that's getting it was in a relationship with a man who was in a relationship, and that woman taught him what he did. Okay.
Yeah, that's why
he took the time to learn.
She'll get crazy when it get late.
My whole point
she do, right?
Don't be pumping these dudes up that's been like in these streets. That the women, from what I heard from the women, it be whack. You know,
and I'm telling you, in older, like I know y'all be talking about like older women and they bitter and stuff like that, but I've heard older women coaching, like, you know, younger women into like kind of what we were saying, because that was the way that they were raised in terms of making their partner, their husband, think that they were doing the damn thing and they really weren't. And I think in that regard, that's the disservice now, because of the way, like, one of the things with sexual liberation, it was some good and bad that came from it. The bad was of course, just, oh, I'm gonna have sex all willy-nilly with whoever I want. I think that was the bad aspect. But the good aspect was the focus on the woman's enjoyment of it. Because prior to that, women weren't necessarily seen. They weren't necessarily ones that were involved. Their pleasure, their, likes and dislikes were not even acknowledged in that act. It was really more so for men. So I think the good aspect of that sexual liberation put a woman's needs at the forefront. But I still think men are operating on old school time. And so are a lot of women, because they are not being honest with them.
Oregon Trail.
Okay. So for the third time, I was not talking about sex.
I went back to it because HD brought it up about the thing, not you.
Okay. And also, what'd you say? The men that have sex is the worst. A lot of sex is the worst. You can have that. Whatever. So
no, let me clarify that. When you're doing it and it's meaningless and you don't have a relationship in between that, like if you've had a relationship and you've learned from a woman, okay, maybe. But those men who never took the time to just get to know a woman and had a woman that they, to teach them, the right way of doing things, like what is really who's honest. Because the problem, this is where y'all don't understand. The problem is finding an honest partner. Women want to be liked so bad, they'll go their whole life faking and don't ever tell you the truth. They really will.
Most men I know that had a lot of women, honestly, growing up, they had a girlfriend. They just was cheating. Keep it all the way real. So they did both. They
right. So what I'm saying to you is, if you had an honest partner, okay, to tell you, who's not going to just deflate your ego, which is very. Let me just tell you. Matter of fact, that may be a brain teaser for next week, because there was a video, and the video was old girl. What's the girl with the mouth? And she was on Insecure, the light skinned girl. She was on the TV show Insecure. She had an interview with another. Matter of fact, let me find it. I'm gonna find it real fast. But she had an interview, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't know you were supposed to fake." They were like, "You didn't know you had," like it was a whole conversation. Y'all didn't see that video? Let me show it to you. Go ahead and talk, Marcus. I'm gonna show it to you.
Real quick before you go, Marcus. I just got a question, real quick. Gentlemen, when not including your wife, did you really give a damn if she got an orgasm or not?
That's my point. That's exactly.
And that's why you walking around with whack sex, because you don't care.
And that's the rumor mill that she's going to be saying, like, "Oh, he was whack." So they're going to talk to the next person.
Here's the toxic trait. I'm gonna answer that with my toxic trait AP in college. If she was around other girls I wanted to have sex with, yes. I don't know if that answer.
Because and Marcus know why? Because women talk. So if the rumor is he got good, other girls are gonna want to try it. So it would behoove you to be good at it. But when you have the attitude like, I don't care, I don't really want it, I'm gonna just smash past it, then that's the rumor that's gonna go around, is that he's whack.
It's just like, it's kind of like that whole Michael B. Jordan, that one. I don't know what he was doing, Devil and that girl who came out and talked about him. And I'm like, luckily, I love him so much, it doesn't even matter. But that had to hurt his ego. I mean, she got on the internet and talked about his sex game. And that's never a good thing, right?
Oh, you mean DJ Envy?
No, it was Michael B. Jordan.